Hey friends, my name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show, and today there is a blizzard going on outside in Brooklyn here, and so you will hear occasional scraping sounds, plowing sounds, sounds of the streets. The streets of the city will become blasting through my window. But anyway, today it's all about building systems around floor-standing speakers, tower speakers. And the prices will top out around $1,500, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on how we, or you, actually configure them. Now, when I give you the prices of speakers, it will always be for pairs of speakers, not individual speakers. The prices will be more or less always the list price, so you can expect that there might be at least some discounts involved. So again, the prices here are going to be floating as they do in the 21st century. It's hard to nail down prices. So the systems will consist of a pair of speakers, electronics, possibly an external phono preamp or, DAC. But basically, speakers and the electronics will be the heart of the system. Before I get into this, I just want to say, I don't usually say this in the front of a video, but if you like what I do here on the Audiophiliac Daily Show, please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it if you've already done that. Thank you so much for doing so. You can follow me on Twitter at AudiophiliacMan and on Instagram at steve.guttenberg. And by the way, on Instagram, on IGTV, I've been making short videos, just sort of coming attractions, what's going through my mind at any given moment. They're fun to do. People seem to like them, so check them out on IGTV, Instagram TV. We're going to start this incredible parade of speakers with ELAC with their debut line, the DF52, which is with 5-inch woofers, and that is $700 a pair, and the DF62, which uses 6-inch woofers, and that's $920 a pair. They're designed, all ELAC speakers, ELAC America speakers, are designed by Andrew Jones. The debut was, logically enough, the initial line from the company here in the US. And they've always sounded good to me, just like easy, affordable, just very well-balanced speakers. So please understand the way Andrew Jones approaches designing a line of speakers. The towers are not the better sounding version compared to the stand mount. The stand mount debuts and the towers sound pretty much the same, except that the towers can play louder, go a little bit deeper, but the basic quality of sound is the same. So you're not going to buy the towers because they're better than the stand mounts. You're going to buy them because you want to play louder or you got a bigger room. Then we're going to take things up a notch, so to speak, with KEF and their Q550 that uses a uni-Q driver, a concentric mid-range tweeter driver, which is 5 1/4 inches in diameter. And then there are two 5 1/4 inch conventional woofers. But the KEF uni-Q has gone through, 11 or 12 different incarnations, revisions I should say, and it's a highly refined design. The uni-Q's forte is imaging, precision, and focus and clarity, and it does that very, very well. What about Tecton? You're saying, hey, what about Tecton? Hey, Tecton. I love Tecton. I reviewed this model, the AMLOR for CNET, ages and ages ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And, well, it just has this sweet, easy sound, has an 8-inch woofer, 1-inch tweeter, but it's made in the US, and the price is only $600 a pair, and that includes free shipping. It's just a really easy speaker. So it's easy to drive, and it'll work very well with some of the lower powered amplifiers coming up in the second part of today's video. Speaking of easy to drive, well, the Zoo Dirty Weekend. Now, I'm including it here. It's not always available because they make them in production runs, Zoo does, and then they sell through them, and then a couple of months go by and they make another production run. So there's always another production run, but it's not available all of the time. But it is also made in the US. It is $1,000 a pair, has a large single 10-inch driver, which is, let's say, a full range driver with, they don't call it a super tweeter, but a separate tweeter. I think the cabinets are beautiful. I think the shape is timeless. They're $999 a pair. I just love Zoo, and they are also super easy to drive and will be a good match with any of the lower powered amplifiers that I will discuss in the second part of this video. So Steve, what about horns? Yeah, we got one. Don't get nervous. We have the Klipsch RP5000F. It's got a Tractrix horn, horn-loaded tweeter, and two 5 1/4 inch woofers. It's super easy to drive, very, very lively, exciting, well, live sound, which is what I associate with Klipsch speakers, and this one definitely does that in spades. Finish up the speaker selection part of today's video. I'm going to get to the Emotiva T1 Plus. They're $700 a pair. But wait, there's more. The tweeter is unusual that it's an air motion transformer, aka a folded ribbon tweeter. So the highs are unusually clean and precise sounding. Then there's a 5 1/4 inch woven fiber mid-range, and then two 6-inch woofers. The sound is more laid back, certainly compared to the CAF, but also the Zoo. The T1 Plus is a more, let's say, refined sounding speaker. Let's go with that. It just has an even keel to the presentation that I really like. Okay, as for electronics, yes. So all of the electronics, I think I got this straight. They're all Class A, B designs. No Class D here. And I'm going to start with this cute little amplifier, the Vista Spark 2. This is 20 watts a channel, but it is Class A, B. It has only 2 inputs, but it is a sweet, a honey of a little amp. It's so pretty sounding. I wouldn't call it tube-like, but it's bordering on that because it just has this easygoing demeanor. It would be a nice match with the Zoo or the Tecton or the Klipsch speaker. 20 watts will go far with any of those 3 speakers. Moving up from there, we got the Riga I/O integrated amplifier. It's 30 watts a channel, $595, has a remote. The Vista doesn't have a remote. It has a lifetime warranty. That's pretty special. But the sound is, again, on the sweet side, a little more transparent than the Vista. Oh, those snowplows are going full-time now. But it's cute. It's small. It feels great. The chassis feels extra solid. And it's just, again, it won me over. It seduced me. And matched with a high sensitivity speaker, great combination. The next one is pretty special because it's my reference integrated amplifier. It's the Denon PMA 600NE. It's 40 watts a channel into 8 ohms, 70 watts a channel into 4 ohms. It's happy driving 4 ohm loads. It has Bluetooth, it has a moving magnet input, but it's a great, all-rounder sort of thing. It surprises me sometimes with its transparency, with its power. It's a very solidly built component, and the price is right. It's $450. And of course, if you need more information about any of the products mentioned in today's video, because obviously I'm just giving you a taste here and there, right? There will be links in the description below this video, either to my review or to the manufacturer's website. Well, then there's the Yamaha AS801 integrated amplifier. It's got that vintage Japanese receiver look from the 1970s and 1980s, but it's a 100% contemporary design. It's 100 watts a channel. It has a USB input. It has Bluetooth. It feels great in your hand. The controls feel terrific. Highly recommended, and it can drive pretty much anything. It easily drove the Magnepan LRS, which isn't part of this story today, but maybe it should have been. But anyway, that's one of the hardest to drive affordable speakers around, and the AS801 sailed right through. It was like butter, as we used to say. The Outlaw RR2160 stereo receiver. Yes, it actually has a tuner inside. But what I love about it is it's Class AB, it's very powerful, 110 watts into 8 ohms, 165 watts a channel into 4 ohms. It has bass management. There's a feature you don't find too often in stereo components. It has a USB input. And there's this new, somewhat revised version, the RR2160 2, which I'm supposed to get into review, and I'm sure I eventually will, but I think they're selling so well they don't have time to send out review samples. But in any case, the original is again, it's also had no trouble driving the Magnepan LRS speakers. Again, like butter, just a beautiful, beautiful combination. Depending on how you mixed and matched the speakers and the electronics, you might have some money left over to buy a turntable. If you're into vinyl, it would be a good idea to have a turntable. And the one I would recommend is the Fluence RT83. It's a belt drive turntable. It comes with an Ortofon 2M red moving magnet cartridge. The build quality on this turntable for $349 is truly extraordinary. It's very solid feeling. I like Riga turntables, I like Music Hall turntables, I like Fluence turntables, but I have to say for $349, the Fluence just feels the most well put together. Now if you're into the vinyl thing and you're going to get the Fluence turntable, you might want to buy a phono preamp, and there's an easy recommend there. The Shit Manny, which is $129. It does moving coil and moving magnet cartridges. It sounds really good. I've never heard anything near that price that can touch it. It would be a sweet combination. If you're more of a digital guy and one of the components you're picking here today doesn't have a built-in digital converter, like the Vista Spark, for example, the Shit Madi 3 is $99. It's made in the US like the Manny, and it's pretty freaking terrific. It's actually better than most of the built-in DACs of these electronics we've talked about today. So if you're seriously into digital sound, if that's your primary source, as it is for most people nowadays, using a better DAC, starting with something like the Shit Madi 3, would be a wise idea. So there you have it. This wasn't intended by any stretch of the imagination to be a complete list of everything that's out there that I would even recommend. It's what I didn't want to just go droning on and on with one speaker after another after another. I sort of picked let's just say the cream of the crop with speakers. And with electronics, again, the choices are actually a little more difficult because, again, there's so many of them. But I think what I picked in terms of the electronics and the turntable and the DAC and everything, I think that's a really good starting point, right? That's what I'm shooting for today. I think the snow plows are getting to me. So yeah, I think I'm not going to go through the whole ending spiel because I already sort of did that in the front. So I think my work here is at last complete. Thank you again for watching, and I really, really do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.